Hey everybody, how's everybody doing this Tuesday? Hope all is well, all is well. I know y'all probably seen me a couple of recordings earlier today. I was just running a few tests, like I had mentioned in the recordings earlier. Just messing around with the software system, this editing software system. So if you can see me okay and hear me okay, please press 1. If not, please press 2. So I make sure we all straight before we go ahead with this live review. And I have to edit this video. I got using my cell phone, the computer, the laptop. So let's see here. But anywho, some of this stuff is so confusing. If you ever use the editing software for videos, it can get very confusing, so I do apologize. But I want to know what you guys thought about the last episode of Love Is. Now, you know we only have one episode left in this season. And I don't even know if there's going to be a season 2. Like, have you guys seen anything? Like, if it's been approved for a season 2 or a season 3? I don't know if this is just one season of this love story or if it's going to be in intervals, you know. But anywho, let's see, get my notes here. Okay. Now, the last episode was called First Script. And as you saw, just like Yashir said, Nuri, she was patient and she was able to finally get her script that she has been so anxious for. And if you see, she even wanted to include him into all the excitement. And he actually wasn't excited to attend her first show like she had wanted him to do. And so what do you guys think about that? One thing I realized, hold up 1 second. Pause. Okay, I'm back. I had to open the door for my child. But anyway, my take of that whole situation was that Yashir, he's not only a man's man, and although he is trying his best and trying to be the man of the house and be the man in Nuri's life, he's having a problem being there for her when she seems to have it going on. And it's like, I guess he felt like embarrassed because he didn't, okay, you know how people talk in the workplace, and obviously a lot of people at her workplace knows what's going on in her situation. So he didn't feel like he could come to her show. Maybe it was because, you know, he didn't have a job. He didn't have nothing going on. You know, his career and everything right now is steadily going downhill. And although she has offered a few times to assist him and bring his script to her, you know, her boss, Norman, it doesn't seem like he's actually cool with that either. But, so y'all let me know what y'all think about that. One thing I I liked was their relationship. Even though he doesn't have it all together right now, he does try to constantly keep pursuing his dreams, and he constantly is pushing her to kind of like be the best Nuri that she can be as well. So, a few episodes back, he said that the reason why he was using her was because he believes that she will make him a better person. And if you remember in the beginning of this season, he said that every time he looks in her eyes, what he sees is a reflection of what she sees he could actually be, which is a king, a black king. He's already a man. He don't really like taking handouts, and that's another thing. He don't like taking handouts, but he seems to be able to steadily use different people for his needs. I mean, beginning with his mother, beginning with his ex, the mother of his children, also with Ruby, now with Nuri. So he has no problem there, taking their assistance, driving their cars, living in their homes, eating up their food. But for some reason, it's just certain things that he wants to do on his own. Now, something that did bother me this episode was how he just seems so overprotective. Like when Nuri didn't call, because, after they had all their little romps, like 3 hours of making love and everything, in celebration of basically her, getting her first script. It's supposed to have started off with a quickie. He was like, now, nothing we do is quick, boo. So, 3 hours later, she's like, okay, I need to get out of here. I can't get anything done. I have to work on my script. You have to work on your scripts. And so she figured that she would go to the office to get some work done. She was supposed to call him back, and she promised that she would call him back. Now she forgot. She was, wrapped up in her assignment, her first script. This is her very first script. Norman is depending on her. The cast is depending on her. And so she's just focused on getting this first script right. So, like a lot of people do, we forget to call. We forget to check in. Our children do it. Our spouses do it. We do it. Our friends do it. Let me know when the plane lands. Let me know that you got safe, But, when you get wrapped up and caught up in stuff, you just forget. He totally, flipped out on her. Totally flipped out on her. Went off and everything, mad because she forgot to call. And then it was like, he had to explain, why he was so mad. And it was, he said that he had a few friends that had been raped and assaulted, and one of them was even murdered. Nuri, she's like, oh, I just see I misspelled something on the bottom of this screen. Let me fix this real quick. But she sees that he let me pull it over here. 1 second. Subscribe. Ooh, I can't spell today. Okay, there we go. Boom, y'all should have told me that was misspelled. Anyway, so she's like, okay, I understand. I promise I'll call next time. And then, she kind of walked off and came back in some sexy lingerie. And, she was like, started flirting with him and everything. And pretty soon, everything was all good. Now, when she had invited him to go to the studio, that was a hot mess. A hot mess. He had came to the studio He was trying to get in the gate. Uh, for some reason, we didn't know at that time that his name was misspelled. But he was going off and he was embarrassed. And did you notice how when the guy, the production assistant, had came, and he had to give some more paperwork to the, I don't know if it's the security guard or the guard that was at the door. He had to get him some more paperwork of more guests that people was invited to the show, more names to add on the list. And the man was like, oh, you're the boyfriend, because they had been hearing about this guy and even Norman. So I actually don't know what all Nuri is sharing with her coworkers, but you don't share everything with your relationship. And it's obvious that she has been sharing information, and maybe they've been asking, what does he do? Where does he work? What is his career? Things like that. And maybe she's let on too much information because it's obvious the way Norman talks about her, the way her friend, I can't remember the name of her friend, at her job, the one who got the movie thing for the Whitney. And it was like, the guy was like, are you the boyfriend? And he's like, yeah. And when he told him who he was like, oh, you're the sandwich guy, or you're the guy that, goes get lunches. Like, he was embarrassed. He don't like being embarrassed. And that's the thing about it. He doesn't like to be embarrassed. He's a proud man. And even if he ain't got a pot to piss in, he's still acting like a proud man. And so he tried to embarrass the production assistant when he was telling him, oh, you're the sandwich guy, whatever, you deliver lunches. And he was like, no, I'm actually the production assistant. But, so I guess that was just a few weeks ago when he was actually the person that delivered lunches. But my thing is, when she did eventually come outside, because he was like, you know what, he's cool, let him in, and so then when he went and had to park, in a certain area, and he came back, and it was just a big to-do about him not being in there, and so Nuri had to come outside. He straight flipped out on her again. And my thing is, like, how many times did she let this happen? I mean, obviously, they are still together 20-something years later. I really hope there's a season 2 and a season 3, because I need to know, like, how the heck did you guys stay together? Because it seems like outside of making love, outside of having sex, outside of sleeping, all they do is argue about every single thing. And the episode before that, when he had went to visit his mom because Nuri wanted to go meet his mom, she knew that he was missing his son. His son had called and said, his tooth came out and all that. And he was expecting money from the tooth fairy. And Nuri, she was so sweet. She came up there with him. She gave him, a special, it was like, it meant a lot to that little boy. First of all, to see his dad, and then to see Nuri, as, basically he introduced her as a friend. But the little boy could tell it was something more than that, because she was being really, really, showing a lot of compassion to this child. And then when the ex came over there, and the ex was going off because he was upset because they had took him out of music class, and he wasn't doing a whole bunch of things that that Yasir was paying for. And so the ex was like, you know what, going off, he doesn't really want to do that stuff. He's not really good at it. And one thing that we do as parents sometimes, we force our kids to keep doing stuff that they really don't want to do. And like Nasir was like, oh, he can learn. He needs to do this. He can't be a quitter and whoop, whoop, whoop. And it's like, when Nuri kept trying to step in, he was lashing out on her then, yelling at her. And, I was like, man, this man, he's either bipolar or he has some serious anger issues. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. It was a lot of um shocking scenes in the last two episodes for me, and I was like kind of appalled, like what the heck is keeping these two people together all these years later? And this is just the beginning of their relationship. They don't have any children yet, they're not married yet, and it just seems like a lot is going on. And and so then I thought it was really funny though how, okay, funny not funny moment, when he was at work and his boss had came over to him and he was telling him, um, I'm sorry, but the way things are going and with the internet, because back then that was still like the late 80s, early 90s era. And so that was when a lot of people was started to use more internet. That's when a lot of people stop using the newspaper as much and stop going to the library as much. And because of that, they had to take some of his hours. Now, he was pretty upset, but I'm like, dude, at least you still got a job. I mean, he could have been laid off or fired. And even though he did get his hours reduced, you still have a job. So you still have time to work on your two scripts. What's the name of them scripts? Sextet, and Mama Get That Money. So he still has time to work on two scripts, and being that he only works a few days a week, he can still also find another job if he wants to find another job. So, and that's what's mostly had, I think that's what did it when saw a light flash. And so I think that's what mostly had did it. That's what started him being so upset when he had flipped out on Nuri the last time. And one thing I did like about this episode was his boss. His boss was like, trying to get him some little helpful tips, but it was not so helpful. And if he really knew Yasir, like we don't even really know Yasir. We just, this is a new show. We are getting to know Yasir. But if he really knew him, he would not have suggested what he did. And which was, he had told him, you know what? Your girlfriend, she's doing great in her career. She's advancing, getting promotions. She got her first script, on the next show. He was like, you don't even need to work. Knock her butt up and have a few kids by her. And then you can be a stay-at-home dad. Did you see the expression on his face? Like, he was like, really? Man, really? That's, boy, the expressions he made be killing me, boy. I love me some Yasir. Although I don't totally understand him right now, and I don't always agree with his actions or how he go about things, especially when he gets upset. But I just like his. He has something in there that's just dying to come out and just dying to take over his life and make things better for everybody around him. And slowly but surely it's going to come out, but it's definitely not going to come out with him sitting at home taking care of no baby. So I'm glad he didn't take his advice, but I think that kind of helped trigger something in him. And because he's been working a lot lately on his scripts, he done got like the room that Nuri said that he can use to write his script. She has her office now. He has his office now. And when they show what he did to the office, like, he really taking advantage because, you have to, sometimes when you're going through things, your surroundings could mean a life of difference to you. So he wanted to make it feel like it was his office, where he can basically go and be creative. So he hooked the place up, and she didn't mind. I like that how she didn't mind. She basically was like, okay, this is nice. You can, get some things done in here. But at the end, when, oh boy, this was it was a very emotional ending. When after the episode where she had got embarrassed, he had took off at the studio. She got chewed out by Norman, even though she was still. Nuri is like, she's done so much, she's doing so much, she's letting so much slide with this man. Women, I know some of y'all out there know exactly where I'm coming from with this. And so, even still, after he embarrassed her and got her in trouble with her, her boss because she missed her introduction to the show, she was still, why Norman's talking down on him, basically telling her you don't need him. What is he doing for you? He's going to bring you down. He's just using you. He's just taking advantage of you. He had a script. He wanted to show me a script because he had a script in his hand when he came to the studio. And Nuri was like, but he's really good. He's a really good person. She's still sticking up for him, there for him. And after Norman went off and looked like little old Nuri is just about to break down in tears, she still was trying to promote his script and promote his talent and be his rib, even though he's been treating her like crap lately. So Norman was like, you know what? I'm so freaking interested now. I'm intrigued. So, okay, give me the script. I want to see the script. But if the script is bad, oh, you just wait. I'm going to get all over you if the script is bad. And so I'm looking forward to the next episode to see what he thinks about the script. Although I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. But, I just want to see his reaction to that, because Norman, he is just like, I think he's looking forward to talking more crap to Nuri about her man and giving her a reason why she should leave him and put him out and be done with him. But even though he's been treating her like crap, she's still, like I said, just been, going for him and pushing for him, promoting him, trying to get him, hired through the production company. And that's my son back there. And so back to what I was saying. After all that happened, she goes home. She basically tells him, you know what? Love is not supposed to be this hard. All we do is argue and all we do is fight. Outside of the love making, they make some wonderful love making together. Yasir got a lot of stamina. And they be going, hour after hour after hour. But like I said before, it just seems like all they do is argue, fuss, and fight. And she's telling him this love is not supposed to be this hard. If this is love, I don't want it. And he's up there like not really understanding why she don't understand why he's so pissed off. But she breaks it down for him. I have let so much slide. I didn't put up with so much. I haven't asked you for anything. She literally hasn't asked him for anything. Like the other chick, Ruby, she had him on the couch and everything. Was trying to put him out and everything. A couple of episodes back. She didn't want to have nothing to do with him because he's not working. He's not paying the bills. She's breaking her back to pay all the bills and also to try to get the money so she can get her liposuction. And, so she was always beating him down, beating him down, beating him down. And Nuri is like the total opposite. The total opposite. And she's letting a lot of stuff slide. And she basically told him straight up, bruh, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. So, anywho, they get in the bed, and this is where it gets really emotional for me, because a lot of women like Nuri, a lot of us ladies, I'll just put it that way, have been molested as young children. And it's usually always somebody in the household or somebody really close to the family. So when she goes to sleep and when he goes to sleep, and he basically, I guess he has a moment. He's like, you know what? I know I messed up. I know I'm doing wrong. I need to make this right with my woman. She has been there for me through everything. And he hasn't paid her back anything besides love, and support mentally, emotionally, most of the time. So, anywho, he hugging up on her, whispering her in her ear, trying to caress her. I think he was trying to wake her up so they can get some of that love making, what they do best. And so she like freaks out. She totally freaks out. And I was confused at first because I was thinking she was having a nightmare, and I was thinking that she thought he was an intruder or, somebody breaking in the house, and or maybe she forgot where she was. I don't know. She had a long day, all that arguing and fussing and fighting, and to come to find out, she actually had a flashback because she had been molested by her stepdad. I think she said for 3 years, from 9 to 12, 3 years. And he sat there and he held her and he listened to her and he comforted her. And it was like he wanted to take all her pain away. And then what happened next with him saying, you have no idea how much we have in common? That just threw me. I was gagging, and not because it's not believable or not often that boys get molested, because they do. I think more boys get molested than women, but they so ashamed, or should I say more ashamed of us, because they're boys, they're little men. When they grow into big men, they feel ashamed and they don't normally tell anyone. They just hold it all inside. And for him to release that to her, that was like everything to me. I think that is going to bring them a lot closer. That also helps us a little bit to understand yes sir, like how he acts, his attitude, his behavior, how overprotective he is of his friends and his loved ones. And it just shined a little light on that, with that scene right there. And it was just, I was like in tears. I hope I wasn't the only one being a big crybaby. But if I was, oh well. But it was really like, it was I love the ending. It was just like the climax of the whole show was just up and down, up and down, up and down, and then to end where it ended. So I'm looking forward to a couple of things next episode. One, Norman getting a chance to check out his script. Two, there's supposed to be a man coming back into Nuri's life. An ex-boyfriend. I don't know if it's an ex-fiance or whatnot, but you saw the previews. The light-skinned bruh, he done reappeared back into her life. So I gotta see where this goes, because I have a good feeling that Nurser is about to have another episode on Nuri. But also, not only that, but I'm looking forward to seeing if Nuri, she let us know who messed with her, who molested her. It was her stepdad. I'm looking forward to finding out if they would go into details about her mom. Like, did her mom know? Did her mom put him out? Did he press charges? Did he go to jail? Also, with Yasir, who was it? Was it a man? Was it a woman? Was it a relative? Was it a neighbor? I'm looking forward to see if they go into more detail. And another thing that I did want to hit on, the actors who are playing the real actors, when they're behind the scene talking, them actors are playing the real Yasir and Nuri. So when he was telling her, like, when they start about to talk about the child molestation, and she seemed like she was, getting a little emotional, and how he was telling, he was like, we don't have to share everything. And she was like, you know, let's go ahead. I love how, I mean, I'm sure this is for TV, so I'm sure a lot of things is probably exaggerated. You know how it is when they do biography books or TV shows, movies. Some of the stuff is exaggerated. Sometimes they throw a little bit in there that really didn't happen. Sometimes certain things are exaggerated, and then there's also a lot of the truth. But in this, I can sense a lot of this is truth, and I love how open they are. And like I said, I hope there's a season 2 and a season 3. I'm gonna have to do a little research and see, because next episode is the last episode for this season. So I'm hoping, it'll go on to another season. But because I really, really, really want to see what the next step is for them after this, because they still literally have not been dating that long. I mean, what has it been? Maybe 3-4 months? I don't think no more than 6 months this whole season. The relationship has even been that long. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this show, about this last episode, or any of the other episodes, or what you think might happen next episode, or what do you think about the actual other cast members. Please put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And I'm about to get out of here because I have to get to the gig. But in the meantime and in between time, Primetime Squad, as usual, if you didn't like this video on the way out, make sure on the way in, make sure you like it on the way out. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. All my subscribers who are already subscribed, my Primetime Squad, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you share this video. All of those of y'all who are not already subscribers, please, if you like this video, please like it as well and subscribe, and you can share it too. And until we meet again, as usual, stay safe, be blessed, and I'm out.